obtained, etc., the depreciation is applied at the rate of 25%. And then if the typewriter, if the company has, the SSC has typewriter, surgical equipment or X-ray machines, maybe in relation to a doctor, etc., in that case it is 15%. So this is the rates of percentages of depreciation to be allowed, and this particular percentage is to be calculated, which is called as an allowed depreciation. So any depreciation which is charged or any depreciation which is shown in the P&L account in excess of this percentage is called as disallowed, or it is what is we say as the not allowable or inadmissible depreciation. Now there is one more thing to be understood with respect to depreciation. Here the charging the depreciation, they are applying the rates of depreciation is based on the number of days for which the assets are put to use. That is, these assets, building, furniture, plant and machinery, etc. here. So these are put to use by the assessee here. So it is very specifically stated that if the assets are put to use for a period less than 180 days in that particular previous year. So in the previous year, in that case, we have to charge only half of the actual rate of the depreciation. I'll repeat it again. So if the asset is used for a period which is less than 180 days, say 180 days is a period which is less than 6 months, is it not? So if the asset is used for a period less than 180 days, in that case, we have to calculate depreciation at the half of the rates here. The asset may be any asset here. So we have to apply the respective percentage, and we have to calculate only half rate percentage should be calculated to calculate the depreciation on such assets which are used for a period less than 180 days in the previous year. Suppose if the asset is put to use for a period more than 180 days, it may not be complete year, it may be more than 180 years. For example, say the asset is put to use for say 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, or less than 12 months, but it is more than 6 months, that is 180 days. In that case, the depreciation is to be always charged at the full rate. So that is the actual whatever the rates given here. So that is one of the provisions to be applied for the calculation of the depreciation which is allowed under this act here. And then what else is important here is, so the format of the computation. The other things, the rest of the things we can understand by when we go to the problems here. We come to the format of computation here. In the first place, as we know, we have the different say calculations to be made. One is pertaining with the business activity, and the other is professional activity with respect to a lawyer, a doctor, and a chartered accountant. So therefore, when we come to that, so in case of business activity, we have a particular format here. So in case of business activity, we start from the net profit as given in the P&L account. The P&L account will be supplied. That is the problem given, and we have to take the net profit as given in the P&L account, and to that net profit, the net profit is kept in the outer column, and in the inner column we take all the inadmissible expenses. All inadmissible expenses are which are debited in the P&L account are to be picked up, and that has to be added back to the net profit to calculate the correct net profit of the business. So that is what is to be done. And then after adding all the inadmissible expenses, we have to deduct the admissible expenses which might not have been considered in the P&L account. The SSA might have gone wrong in say considering maybe one of the expenses which are actually allowed under law, but he might not be aware that it is completely allowed. He might have taken less, calculated less. There may be something like that. So in that case, if there are any admissible expenses which are not debited in the P&L account, that has to be deducted here. And then we should also consider those incomes which are not business incomes. So it is not given in this format here, but still, so what is to be done is we have to consider those incomes which are not considered as business incomes, that are to be again deducted. and then whatever the amount we get is termed as the profit or gain from business or profession, profit on business here. And then we have similarly we have other format here for the computation of professional incomes of a medical practitioner, a chartered accountant, and a lawyer here, so which is given in the page numbers 18 and 19. So this is the theoretical background for the commencement of problems here. Thank you very much.